It's time for Twig This Week in Google, and we have a very exciting show for you. Not only is it Stop Internet Censorship Day, we'll tell you what that means. We've got a Google Music announcement coming up in just a few minutes. We'll cover it live on This Week in Google. Stay tuned.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT. Bandwidth for This Week in Google is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 121, recorded November 16th, 2011. It goes to 11. This Week in Google is brought to you by Ford, featuring Wi-Fi connectivity with available sync and My Ford Touch. Now your car can be a Wi-Fi hotspot. Check it out in the new 2012 Ford Focus and at ford.com/technology. And by GoToMeeting with high-definition group video conferencing. For your free 30-day trial, visit GoToMeeting.com and use the offer code TWIG. And by SQUARESPACE.com, the fast and easy way to create a high-quality website or blog. For a free trial and 20% off your new account for 6 months, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code TWIG11. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, and we've got the Googleiciousness of, on my right here, Mr. Jeff Jarvis of the City University of New York, the author of What Would Google Do? Hello, JJ. And, of course, his brand new book, Public Parts, all about the role of publicness in a world gone mad for privacy. Also, to my left, the now famous, fully employed Gina Trapani, smarterware.org, and her app, thinkupapp.com, is now in public release, 1.0.
1.0, out of beta.
Golf clap.
Out of beta.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Wow,
It's been a stressful week.
Does that mean people could just go on the website and download it now, or?
Yeah, people can go on the website and download it. You can install it on your own web server. It's about the same amount of effort as WordPress. Or if you don't want to deal with a web server, we have an Amazon EC2 launcher. So you need, your Amazon keys. You pop them in under 60 seconds. It'll spin up an instance and start running it. ThinkUp is, we kind of selected for pretty geeky users who have a lot of followers on social networks, and you're going to have to, pick up API keys from Twitter and from Facebook. There's still a lot of rough edges. I think someone said if you're not embarrassed by your 1.0 release, then you waited too long. And there are definitely things I'm embarrassed about, and that could be better. But if you've got big followership on different networks and you're interested in archiving your data and visualizing some of your conversations, I hope you'll check it out. The installation is about the same amount of effort as WordPress. So if you've done that, you'll have no problem with ThinkUp.
I can back that up because Gina's very kindly let me run my Twitter stuff into ThinkUp for some time, for almost a year now, and it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you've been such a great tester, Leo. Thank you. You have such a huge data set, and you really helped us I want to kind of push the limits of the database as much as possible. And your data, along with Jeff's and a few other people, has really helped us optimize our indexes and make it fast and see what happens when you throw millions of followers at it. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, I don't have millions, but the few 100,000 I have are all yours, Gina. Anything you want.
All belong to us.
And thank you. I guess I should probably now set up my own server and stop mooching off of you, but
no, you've been an awesome beta tester. I really appreciate I appreciate it. I appreciate your OAuth keys, Leo, as always.
My OAuth is yours anytime. This is an important day. This is some program note that in about less than an hour now, in about 45 minutes, Google will do an announcement, probably the Google Music. In fact, we know it's the Google Music announcement. And so we will follow that live, and we'll have our commentary. Tom Merritt will join us from the TNT newsroom. And so we'll have 45 minutes of this show, but we'll continue with the Google Music, or whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Announcement. It's also American Censorship Day, and I think this is very important, and I wanted to plug this right at the beginning of the show today. Today, Congress is holding a hearing on SOPA, and it's very important that everybody who is listening in the United States today call their members of Congress and protest. If you go to leoville.com, I'll give you an example. I, as many other webmasters across the country, have put up this picture here when you go to my website website blocked. And this is the kind of thing that you will see if SOPA passes. This site has been blocked to Americans by the U.S. government firewall. Now, if that sounds scary to you, and by the way, the standards for what the government needs to do to block something are not, in my opinion, full due process. You should absolutely fight to protect the internet.
And just allowing anyone that architecture, to change the architecture of the net, not to plug, but at the end of public parts, I argue the last principle I talk about is the need for the architecture of the net to stay open and distributed. And this puts a chokehold. And if our government can use it for ill purposes, China's government can use it and is using it for ill purposes, that kills the net, folks.
And this is, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this is being done by the music industry, the television industry, the content industry, to protect their rights, their copyright.
So they think, yes. They think. But I was delighted to see a large consortium of technology companies today come out with full-page ads in at least the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. Google, Twitter, eBay, Facebook, AOL, Zynga, and a whole bunch of companies saying, no, don't do this. It's stupid.
Well, and Matt Cutts, on his personal blog, of course, we all know Matt, who's the spam fighter at Google. We've had him on the show many, many times. If you go to Matt Cutts' blog at mattcutts.com, I need your help. Please call your congressperson. Take a few minutes to learn about SOPA and the Protect IP bill. It's SOPA in the House. It's Protect IP in the Senate, and they're doing hearings right now. Everybody agrees. This is everybody who knows what they're talking about agrees. The problem is members of Congress are often not very well informed on these issues, and maybe they get a lot of funding from these companies, and look. Absent hearing from their constituents, that's going to influence them. But ultimately, all the funding matters to them is to get votes. We're the voters. We matter more than anybody. But there's no excuse if we don't do this. So please contact your member of Congress. This is American Censorship Day. Find out more at EFF.org or AmericanCensorship.org or Matt Cutts' blog or just a lot of places.
Yeah, this is the single most important thing that you can do today.
I agree.
Yep.
For sure.
I agree. Right. Actually, I was going to do this earlier, but maybe after the show, I will call my members of Congress. I ran out of time. You should, very important that you understand that the best way to influence members of Congress is to snail mail. We don't have time for that right now, but snail mail, because they see the postmark and they know you're a constituent, or call them from a local number. And it's not an elaborate call. You just call up and say, I just want to register this. Please tell my, Senator Feinstein that I am dead set against the IP Protect Act, and I please hope that she will vote against it. And I'm a constituent of hers, and if she does, she'll have my vote, and if she does not, she will lose my vote. Something like that. It doesn't take a whole lot. They have a little box. They put a checkbox in. And if you have a website, if you go to this AmericanCensorship.org site, there's a simple snippet, a JavaScript snippet you can put on your site. This is all I did for Leoville.
Yeah, I got to set this up.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
If you go to the Tech Guy site, I'll just do that real quickly just to show you. We should do this on TWiT. I don't control the TWiT source code, or I would have. But if you go to the Tech Guy site, that will pop up. And that is a very dramatic way to remind people that this is what life will look like if we allow this to happen. We do not want, I've been to China. We've been to China. You've been to China. We know what it's like in countries where they have firewalls that block access to the full and free internet. It's not a good thing. It's not what we want.
It's incredibly jarring. Like, you know it intellectually, but when you experience it, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So this is really, really important. So I think this is great that they implemented these JavaScript snippets.
I love it.
I wish I had set it up sooner, because it really does give you the experience of what it would be like.
It's not too late. If you go to Tumblr, I think that you'll see a good example of that. I'm being told by the chat room as well. Tumblr, because Tumblr and Facebook are two sites that would be very much immediately impacted by this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And all of those of us who link to things, if there was a story today somewhere on the web about the impact on journalists, if you link to a site that's considered to be in violation, are you in violation, and things like that.
Appalling.
It's
appalling.
First friggin' Amendment, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Tumblr, this is really interesting. They basically just blacked out. You can see your Tumblr dashboard, but they black out every single post individually. This is really neat.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for Tumblr.
Mine's
for
not
making a statement.
let's see, mine's not doing it right now, but yeah. If you go to your Tumblr log, you'll see it. Wow. So good way to start. We got some big stuff today. This is a big day. Big day for some of us yesterday when we got our fires. I'm riding in my car. I turn on my Kindle Fire. You're holding me close. This is an Android device. You'd never know it. But, well, you know, the slide to unlock kind of is a giveaway. Here, I'll show you a little more close-up. I haven't done anything to customize this. This is the out-of-the-box experience. My books, these are all the books I've ever bought. So if I say, oh, you know, I'd like to get my design patterns book on here, I click that little button, and it will download to my Kindle. These are apps. And in fact, we can see more apps if we click the apps button up here. These are apps that come or on the device or are encouraged. For instance, Comixology. Again, you just click the download button, and this is a recommended, and you can install it. Now, this is very obviously Android. Anybody who's got an Android phone, you probably recognize the interface. Now, you even see the Amazon App Store logo right up there. I hear that they've already got a one-click root exploit. That's a good sign because now some people have complained about this in terms of speed, that the performance is not great. In fact, let me go to a book. This, by the way, I do not like. You see this? Now those two apps that I've used are now part of this cover flow. It's really driving me crazy, and I don't know how you control that. But let's go to a book that's on here. You see how slowly that did it? And watch the page turn. It's just a little. It's not. It's okay.
A little bit laggy.
It's a little
skippy.
laggy, and people have been complaining about the speed of this. As David Pogue said, you know, it's just too laggy. Others have complained that tapping the icons. Now, mine feels fairly snappy. Maybe I haven't loaded it down yet with enough stuff. Here's Pulse, which it comes with, which is a great little newsreader application. And, of course, there's the magazine stand, which is right here, the newsstand. And that's the thing that people will be most interested in is taking a look at magazines. And I have to say that experience is a little disappointing as well, at least so far, because these magazines really here, I'll get it's turkey time. I'll get Bon Appetit by current issue. Oh. I do not have a valid credit card. Well, I have to set up one click on this. I thought that one was going to be free. But what they basically feel like is PDFs. And in fact, in many cases, you have to squeeze it and zoom it to see the full page. It does go sideways, so you can see the magazine that way. But it is not a very good magazine experience. And so far, these really feel like scanned-in magazines. I don't see anything dedicated to the magazine experience. That's probably going to change. It is. Let's remember, it's early days for all of this. Did you guys, either of you, get a Kindle?
Nope.
No, I didn't get it. So when you take it out of the box and you sign in, Leo, you're signing in to Amazon.
Oh yeah, in fact, it knew it was my Fire. In fact, all the Kindles, when you get them and you open them up, they'll be pre-registered to you. So
Right,
it had
I
my
see.
Amazon credentials. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I need for one click. It's probably for one click. I need to log into Amazon.
Right, right. And there's no Google Guts, no visible Google.
Well, for
Guts
those
in
of us who
there.
use Google, we can kind of recognize some of this. But try this. You know, there's no slide down notifications.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
no apps. There's no Google Apps there, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Let's see.
Yeah,
Is there
does
a
the
web
store have
search?
any Google Apps?
Ah, no. I mean, these are the apps that are recommended.
Search for Google under the apps if you would.
Well, I don't have to. This is it.
But you
Oh.
The
Oh,
App
that's
Store. It's
it.
not a full App Store.
Oh.
But you could
Oh.
download unknown sources like you can.
You
on a-
can do
in-
third-party
yeah.
sources.
That's the
So,
thing, right?
so I would do that, I guess, from the settings. Let's get the settings open here and take a look. I mean, I
So you
think
could like email someone an APK or download an APK from the web.
exactly, yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, that's how they're hacking it, of course. And if you look at this, you know, you can tell. Oh, yeah, that's Android, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, let's look at.
What do you think
security here.
Google really thinks of this?
Well, that's an interesting question.
I've been trying to figure it out.
Let's go to the web. If search goes through Google, then they're going to love it, right? So let
At
me
least that,
search. Let's search for censorship. By the way, nice, easy to use keyboard. There's, I don't know if you'll be able to install other ones. This is, I guess, kind of pretty close to that's a Google search. So Google's not going to mind that, right?
No, Google's going to like that.
That's good for them.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of Android. I'm sure they'd like the Google-licious Gmail and Maps apps and so forth. And maybe at some point we'll be able to. Well, I don't know. Well, there's no GPS, so I guess that's why Maps wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Here's the built-in email map or app, and it's just
Gmail's the top of the list
Gmail's
there,
number one. Yep.
which makes sense.
So I haven't set it up yet. I literally just opened the box. So I'll have some more to talk about over the weeks and months to come. But
Any device that searches the web using Google is good for Google.
Google likes
they're
that,
happy
right?
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty, I think it's a very polished interface. It looks good. This is the interface to the Amazon bookstore. Top 100 paid books, children's picture books. They know that that's a big market that Kindle hasn't served up to this point because it's been black and white. Best fiction of 2011, new and noteworthy. So, and here's the top 100 free books. Kind of like that.
How's the
public
hardware
domain.
feel of it?
It's big, it's heavy, which doesn't, I have it in a case here, by the way. Let me take it out of the case so you can see what it looks like without the case. It is very much like the BlackBerry Playbook in terms of size and fit and feel, although iFixit's torn it down, and in fact, internals are not the same by any means. So it is its own hardware device. I think the only complaint people have is it doesn't feel very snappy. It's snappy enough. I mean, remember, the Kindle, black and white Kindles aren't snappy at all.
How's it with video?
Oh, I can sign into my music. This is all my music that's already on Amazon. So that's
handy.
kind of nice. I don't actually. Now, can I play it? No, I have to download it first, and then play it. What am I?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Will it do a YouTube video?
yes, it will. Yes, it will. Let's go to YouTube. It's got Flash built on it.
But no YouTube app. Huh.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, although
Yeah.
that could be solved. And it may be that, remember, they've got a big Amazon
Video streaming.
store
right.
and video stream. I mean, all of that stuff will be, let's go to YouTube.
Netflix and Hulu Plus is there too. We ran.
Netflix works nicely on it, I think, yeah.
Ah.
So let's play some dancing babies here. See how they look.
Oh, yeah. That's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go wrong with dancing babies.
You can't.
It's interesting because the aspect ratio for YouTube is perfect, but people have complained
Yeah.
about the fact that other movies have black bars top or bottom, and you can't resize it. But it does fit YouTube just right.
Yeah, it looks great.
Actually, now I'm intrigued what's going to happen here. I think that's Jeff and Gina.
Okay, I'll stop talking. Okay, I'm sorry.
Remember, this is only $200. The chat room's saying, and that's an excellent point, right?
Yes.
It's for $200. This, I think, there will be in a lot of stockings, and it'll fit, and under a lot of Christmas trees, and a lot of Hanukkah.
They haven't sold out or anything, have they?
They apparently, no, well, we don't know because Amazon doesn't say. I think you can still buy it, though. It says on Amazon's site you can buy them today. One thing that's kind of interesting is that the rumors are that they've made $5 million to get them through Christmas. So they expect this to do very well indeed.
So this is basically a device for someone who loves the Kindle or reads a lot and is also vaguely interested in the iPad but doesn't want to spend the money on the iPad
Yeah.
or,
How'd that
or a
change?
tablet.
Yeah.
That's basically it,
Yeah.
right?
Somebody who's heard about tablets, isn't sold yet.
Right.
And it,
Did he just...
I think we lost.
oh,
That
There we
works.
that was
Did you buy
perfect
your-
timing.
would you buy your mother one, Gina?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. My mom is not into technology at all. I showed her the original Kindle, and she was super excited about it. She was an English teacher, so the idea of having all those books in your hand was exciting. Although she did question me about paper. I think I would buy one of those for my mom.
My mom loves the original Kindle, and
Really?
and because she can make the text big. She's 77.
Yes,
She
that was
loves
a big thing for my mom too.
Yeah, she says I can read again. I haven't been able to read, It brought
My
her back
father
to
got
reading.
so angry with me when I bought him a Kindle. You remember that Seinfeld episode when Jerry got his parents the Fruit of the Month Club and they got all angry with him? The fruit, it keeps coming. That's where my father was with this thing. Why would I want this thing?
Dad, God, they're like teenagers.
Yeah, but I tell you, I'm going to be pissed for a moment here. I'm in Toronto today. I'm doing some business, but then I'm going to do these events tomorrow night in Toronto and Friday night in Ottawa, thanks to a group called Third Tuesday. Sold out. This is wonderful. I go to Indigo down the street to sign the books. Not one copy. Not one copy in any damned Indigo in the whole friggin' country, and it's the only bookstore there is. What? Why do you need a bookstore anymore? Why do you need a publisher anymore?
Well,
It's absurd.
It's unfortunate,
ridiculous.
isn't it? It really is unfortunate.
So what happens with the Fire and all that, it makes me happy, is that it is a way to still distribute, stuff, and it beats the hell out of the old way, which is effed.
Well, and somebody like you, Jeff, who has an audience, and
Thanks to you.
well, but there could be it's instant. So somebody's watching, they go, "Oh, I want that book." There's no resistance. There's no friction. Boom, they got it, and that's good for
people out
everybody.
there, Canadian friends, don't go buy the Kobo thing that's in Indigo. Buy the Fire and get it on Amazon.
Well, and that's,
Bad.
by the way, we should probably say it. Is anybody here getting the Barnes & Noble tablet? Are we going to have anything to compare this with?
We should probably get one.
We-
Mossberg,
Isn't that funny?
Mossberg has,
I mean, Jane Lynch is doing the
guess.
commercials.
Okay,
should
we'll
get
get one.
Tough life at TWiT. Real
Can I
tough
go ahead and
life.
order one, Leo?
Yeah, order
I'll
one.
order
We should.
one
We
for
really
you.
should have. We should have bought one before this, and I'm embarrassed. But it's it's funny when we're doing a review show. We're launching a review show, and we're getting everything except there's
oh,
something.
congratulations, by the way. Big hire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nicole Lee will be our producer on that show. A great woman I've known for years. She used to work for me on Tech TV, and it's going to be easy to get people to review things like the Fire. A little harder to get people to review things like the Nook.
Oh.
We'll figure it out. So there is already a one-click death to all 110. Posted a one-click recipe. You have to have Super One-Click 2.2 and Android SDK, and, well, as you can see, a little bit of knowledge. I'm waiting for the app. Well, but, if you can root this that easily, and it literally took less than a day, it's just a matter of time before people are putting ice cream sandwich on here, and this could very well be a full-bore tablet. Not as powerful, though, and I think that's probably...
Can it handle ice cream sandwich?
Well, that's the interesting thing. I mean, I think that maybe that's why Amazon didn't put more memory in this. Maybe they were aware of this potential. That was what happened to the Barnes & Noble tablet immediately, and it became a very popular tablet as a result. iFixit has done the teardown, taken it apart, looked inside, and you can see what's in here. It's a smaller battery than the iPad, although it is mostly battery. It's 4.
Why are circuit boards green? That was my Andy Rooney moment.
What is it with circuit boards? Why are they green?
Why are they all green?
That's a great question. I'll have to ask Waz next time I see him.
Wouldn't it look good in blue? Look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a blue circuit board. Yeah.
There you go.
So once they took it apart, this is the main thing in here. 8 gigs of flash memory, 512 megs of RAM. That may be one of the reasons it's not so fast. It has a Texas Instruments microprocessor in here. In fact, it's all Texas Instruments, including the audio and everything else. The Bluetooth, FM, Wi-Fi is from Georgian. So I guess I'm not sure about this processor, but I'm guessing that where is the processor? I'm guessing it's a little bit of a less powerful processor in here.
Seems like kind of planned obsolescence, right?
It's an older TI OMAP chip. So it's not. I think it's either planned obsolescence or really worrying that people might want to hack the dang thing.
Dual core 1 gigahertz TI OMAP 4430 says SciWiz in the chat room.
Well, yeah, with an older support chip. So this is an interesting, yeah.
And answering a question in the chat room, I think there's no Bluetooth, right?
They have a Bluetooth chip in it, so it has capability, but they don't in fact turn it on. So the Wi-Fi chip has Bluetooth capability, as I gathered from reading this. Anyway, that's an interesting teardown. Most people were saying it doesn't feel super fast, super snappy. It doesn't actually feel slow to me, but I haven't used it for very long.
I mean, let's be honest. If you're reading a book,
right? How fast do you need it to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah.
And of course, it's a great portal. Look at here. This is Amazon, you know, and this is one of the things they did very nicely with the Windows Shop app on the iPad. Very, you know, let's buy. Oh, let me buy that.
Oh yeah, it's a buying machine.
Oh, let me buy that.
Kindle's always been a buying machine.
Look how easy it was to buy that, right? Whoops!
I mean, I think
stop.
this is like all the geeks want to turn it into a full-bore tablet, right? It's an e-reader where you buy stuff to read. You know, that's what it is, and it looks like it does that pretty well. The Kindle's always done that really well.
It's not a bad e-reader, you know. I mean, I love the cover flow.
Too.
Say again.
I've worked with a guy named Sean Sampson who's rethinking retail. But imagine if you had this in a store, you like you know, probably if it would need a camera or some means to say what's that device, but you just buy it.
Right.
You know, it's.
I think this is it's a nice crisp screen. I wasn't one of those e-ink bigots who said I have to have an e-ink screen. I think this is. I like to turn it to sepia, make the text a little bit bigger, and I think it's quite legible. You know.
Oh, does it have a speaker? Somebody's asking whether it will read to you, like the Kindle.
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know if it'll read to you, but it absolutely has a speaker because
you can play music.
It's a music player and it's a video player, and that's the whole idea of this thing. You can, of course, buy.
You don't have to use headset.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know, no, it has a speaker. Yeah. Let's just see here. We can watch a trailer of The Walking Dead. Not suitable for all audiences.
Yay! I'm not all audiences.
Let me turn.
I prefer sex to violence.
How do you turn? You have to soft. This is the future of Android, which I don't like, which is soft everything. Right. The only switch on this is an on-off switch. So if you're turning up things, or
Laporte complained was hidden.
Yeah.
There it is, up at the right.
Yeah, that's got speakers. Not very loud. But they're loud enough. I have to say the screen looks good.
Yeah.
I could absolutely, and now this particular case I have is a little stand built into it, so I could absolutely sit and watch this on an airplane or whatever. I think
If you have an iPad, is there any reason to buy this that you can imagine?
Absolutely
the
not.
Smaller size, you wouldn't take it with
the smaller size would be it. I mean, the iPad will do everything this does because of the Kindle app. So you don't need the functionality, but you know, I do like the smaller size of something like this because you can put it in your pocket.
Well, I mean, the iPad won't stream from Amazon though.
Ah, good point.
It won't stream video from Amazon. I have to say, I love Amazon Instant. I don't have any Apple hardware in my living room, so I just don't use any of the iTunes stuff. I mean, this weekend I was going to go see Melancholia, the Lars von Trier movie.
Yeah,
it was on Amazon streaming.
What?
It's in the theater, but it's also on Amazon streaming. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm staying home. I'm watching it on my Fire.
Yeah, and like on the iPad, because it doesn't support Flash, you can't even purchase stuff from Amazon and say, "Hey, send this to my TiVo or whatever."
So there you go.
Because it doesn't work for Flash. But you know, I mean, you know, you've access to so much video content through iTunes on the iPad. That's not going to be that big a deal, but
interesting.
I do really like that.
Yeah, these are all Prime videos that I could watch right now. Because I'm an Amazon Prime person.
Big Julia Roberts fan.
I love Julia Roberts. Yeah, to me, if a movie has Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant in it, I'm happy.
You're in.
I'm in. That's all I need.
It's on.
It's on. It's on. I'm such a girl.
That's why I love you, Leo.
Yeah, no, I love romantic rom-coms as we chicks call them. I think this looks great.
Leo, do you watch Dancing with the Stars?
I have.
I would just like to point out that I have watched TWiT when Leo was with all male guests, and he's a different guy.
I know. You guys soften me. I would never admit to this with them.
This show is Leo's feminine side. Yes,
We're showing the feminine side of me.
Love it.
Now, so that's the question. So, and we, you know, it's interesting. We were trying to decide who covers this. there was a battle between iPad Today and All About Android. And Eileen said, we're covering it, and that's all there is to it. So All About Android will cover it, because it is, I guess it's an Android device, but
They're
I mean...
rooting it. I mean...
Yeah, now that they've rooted it, I think you win the argument. Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like the right decision to me.
Yeah.
Nothing against iPad Today.
By the way, Time Warner is now going to block this because they think there might have been something in here that was theirs. So, yeah, I don't like this cover flow absorbs everything you've ever done. I mean, the UI...
I don't like those. Is there a UI to change that flow to a different UI, to a list or anything?
I heard no.
No, I don't think Dr. Mom's been complaining
that's-
about that. You can search. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see if a web search goes. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. So you could choose to search sources. Amazon, Facebook, Google, Yahoo.
So that cover flow interface is the home screen. There's no home screen popper.
No, this is
Interesting.
But then you have
Your
this,
stuff.
this menu bar, newsstand, books, music, video, docs. Now, docs is interesting because I don't know how I would create a new doc. In this
those
case, the only
PDFs?
doc is there's a PDF that's the user's guide, yeah.
You can email PDFs to your Kindle.
That's right. So I guess that's where
that must
these
be
would
that.
go, yeah.
Yep.
Just an update, the Google event. I'm seeing this right now. Those of you
Ooh, it must have to do
watching
with
Shut up.
music. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break and come back. We will go live to that when it happens and talk about it, and we do have some other news. So, including, by the way, Ice Cream Sandwich source code released, and because it's in the source code tree, that means honeycomb has been released in source. But I want to ask Gina what the hell that means. Before we get, is it good? Is it bad? Is it open source? Let's talk about that in just a second. And yes, we will have live coverage of the Google event, which is about to start in about 15 minutes. Until then, I have commercials for every show except this show. Here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about GoToMeeting. The folks at Citrix produce. I just found this out. They consider this their premier product. I guess it's one of their oldest products, and of course it's one of their most used because nowadays with work groups spread out all over, clients all over the world, colleagues too, online meeting is the best way to meet, to have an impromptu meeting. And now because of HD Faces, that can be a face-to-face meeting. I just love this. I want you to go to GoToMeeting.com. Use the offer code TWIG to try it free for 30 days. It's of course screen sharing for online meetings and very easy to set up. It includes voice over internet and teleconference bridge. So, you know, people, if they're using their iPad, for instance, they can hear the meeting. They can speak to the meeting without any phone line. They just use their internet connection. And now with HD Faces, the people on PCs and Macs with cameras can now be seen. I mean, that makes a huge difference in a meeting, to see your client's reaction to your presentation, to see what your colleagues think. They've also made it possible to do this on Android phones and iPhones. You can't send the video yet. They're working on that. But you can attend these meetings on even Android phones and iPhones, and that is fantastic news. That means no matter where you are, you could be at a GoToMeeting meeting. It means it's easier to get these teams together, to get them working together, to see them, to interact with them. Try it free for 30 days. You may have tried other meeting software. Please do not let that poison you. This is so much better, so much faster, so much easier. In fact, it's so easy, you'll just use it all the time. It will become your de facto standard for meetings. GoToMeeting.com. Try it free for 30 days. Use the offer code TWIT. And we thank Citrix so much for supporting all of our shows, one of our oldest and most beloved advertisers.
Offer code Twitter Twig.
Oh, did I say TWIT? I
Yeah.
meant Twig. Thank you for correcting me. Of course, we want credit for Twig. TWIG, not TWIT.
Yeah, give us credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't, you know, it doesn't, you know, it's not, we don't do what they call
we're all
pay-for-click ads. We don't, you know, we don't get paid if they put Twig in, and not get paid if they put TWIT in. It's all, you know, that has nothing to do with that. But they like to keep track of which shows do best for them. And so if you like this show and you saw it on this show, do use Twig so that we get.
We want to be like Soupy Sales. Call your congressperson. Use the Twig offer code.
Yeah.
Go into Indigo and demand my book, and send us $1, kids.
Yeah, and go to Daddy's wallet and find $1. 10 recent algorithm changes. Google just constantly working on their algorithm. This is from the official Google search blog. They have added. I mean, you know, we've heard about we talked about it, in fact, last week, the new algorithm that makes it more up to date. But apparently they say they do over 500 changes in any given year. This is just the last couple of weeks. Cross-language information retrieval, snippets with more page content and less header menu content, like that. Better page titles and search results by deduplicating boilerplate anchors. Length-based autocomplete predictions in Russian. That doesn't help me.
I love reading through change logs. It's an epic journey toward.
I'm glad
better
that's somebody's
search.
job and not mine.
How about, I met the guy who does the Polish localization. I think it was Polish of Google. He works out of the Dublin office. And so he says, I'm the Matt Cutts for Poland. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And Matt
Localization's
doesn't
really
read
important.
Polish. So extending application-rich snippets. Rich snippets for applications. Oh, that's neat. That's that snippet thing we were talking about with Google+. Retiring a signal in image search. Fresher, more recent results, this we've talked about. Refining official page detection. Now, this is interesting because how do they know what's an official page? If you type in Ford, what's the official Ford page? So they've improved that. So which pages are official, which pages are fan sites?
That goes to our Google Plus stuff last week we were talking about how to know the brands are there.
Yeah, and I'm
Right,
sure
Direct Connect.
Google Plus kind of ties into this, don't you think?
I would think so.
Yeah, that would be a signal. Improvements to date-restricted queries. And prediction fixes for IME queries. You know what that means? Queries that have non-Latin characters. So those of you who speak Latin, this isn't for you.
I like to see Google be transparent. I happen to really love reading through change
love
logs
it.
because I mean, it's a little boring, but you can kind of see what some of the thought processes are
Yeah.
and the directions that you're heading in. I like to see Google being more communicative and transparent about what they're doing with their algorithm. Remember
Amen.
back in the day when you had no idea about the magic that was going on behind the scenes? This is good.
I agree.
Good stuff.
Hey, let me ask you about this open sourcing, as I was going to, but I forgot, of Ice Cream Sandwich. That was fast, because Ice Cream Sandwich is and we haven't even seen a phone with it yet.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty fast. I mean, Ice Cream Sandwich is kind of that Honeycomb was this weird bridge that never really
Right.
got released, and Ice Cream Sandwich includes Honeycomb. So you can say that Ice Cream Sandwich is really fast or really early, or you could say the Honeycomb is just really late.
Right.
You can look at it either way.
Right.
So yeah, this is really cool. So Ice Cream Sandwich source code is open source. So everyone knows that Android's open, but the conventional ways that open source projects work is that you can see nightly commits, and that's not the case with Android. Google works internally and in private on Android up until a point at which they release the source.
So
in one
that's
big
why
drop.
some say it's not really open source, because
Right.
you can't watch the commits.
Right, exactly. Some open source advocates say that it doesn't qualify as a true open source project because you don't see the daily commits and the daily work. So that's a matter of opinion. To me, open source is
Open.
source that's out there and open, and
Give
now
out the
it
source.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when Honeycomb wasn't out there and Ice Cream Sandwich wasn't
There's-
out there, but now it is.
The interesting thing is people said, they'll never release the Honeycomb source. But in order to release the Ice Cream Sandwich source, they have to release, I guess they've released the whole, is it Git that they use? The Git tree. And then you'll see everything, even all of the commits prior to Ice Cream Sandwich.
Oh.
You'll see Honeycomb. Now, they
Yeah,
say you could use it, but don't.
But don't, right. Yeah, from what I understand, the Ice Cream Sandwich is based on the Honeycomb tree, right?
Right.
So it's all one tree.
Right.
So all the source code has come out, but new developers should develop at the top of the brand, the top of the trunk, right, which is Ice Cream Sandwich, and not develop on Honeycomb. So
Yeah.
this is great news. It's great news for developers. It's great news for users, especially power users, because this means that custom ROMs can get developed for Ice Cream Sandwich. It means that the next Kindle Fire, or whatever the new next Android device is, can be built on Ice Cream Sandwich instead of earlier versions. And it just means that the source code is out there for people to look at and start developing on, and more eyes is a good thing.
Absolutely.
In terms of bugs and development. So this is great. So the source code came out before the first device running.
Isn't
Ice
that
Cream
amazing?
Sandwich.
That's the first time that's happened.
That's
I think.
good.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff.
Source.android.com, and they give you full instructions for doing it and doing the whole thing, and you couldn't be easier. And once you have the whole code base, you can make your very own. Build your own, kids. It's easy.
They do use Git. I mean, this is the open source project, so you're not going to get things like the Market or Gmail or Maps, which are closed source apps. But this is fantastic. This just means newer Android devices are gonna be running Ice Cream Sandwich. Just an upgrade. It's good.
I just think it's a great answer to all the people who were saying after Honeycomb was not released, oh, you see, this is not really an open source project. It is. It is. And I think that I applaud them.
I mean, better to have it this level, even if it's not purism. Let's not get our knickers in knots. Let's take what we can get.
You can't. I mean, let's talk about purism. There's nothing more pure than an open source advocate, and there's just no. There will always be something. So there you go. You got the source code. Did you know that there is? You probably knew this. The secret Google Lab, Jeff?
Oh, I never knew about it. But
you didn't know.
I love this idea, don't you? That and I love it in a few ways. I love it in the Google Mysteries are fun thing. They're going to make robot cars, but I also love it in the idea that this country needs a Bell Labs again.
Mm-hmm. So what is Google X?
Google X is supposedly working on projects. We don't know what it is, but the Google refrigerator, the Google cars, the
space elevator.
And if you look at the video that I put up on the rundown there, Leo, you'll find out there are other projects that the Chinese have found out about.
The Chinese know. I guess it's time for Google to tell us.
So if you have the video there, if you want to play it.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Where'd you stick that?
It's right below that on the rundown.
Right below it on the rundown.
It says Google X gets
Chinese video. I see. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from China comes this video. Oh, these
Google X puts newest technologies in the wraps. Google has pumped out many digital innovations through its Google Labs portal, but chose to close it last month.
I don't know what that meant.
We don't. It's you can't even. It's not clear.
No.
Internet.
It's just silly. I think this is a Chinese language news show or something. What's the story with these?
These guys just always do these parodies.
Called Google X, where the company is working on super secret projects.
Lots of guys in lab coats.
With
I like Sergey and Larry time traveling.
Reportedly in the works is a
Darth
space
Vader.
elevator.
Darth Vader and the android robot taking a space elevator up to the moon, where there's a Hard Rock Cafe.
Researchers are also looking into robots and internet-connected appliances as ways for people to manage their homes from the cloud. But from where is Google getting all their ideas?
This is my favorite part.
Aliens. Larry and Sergey bonging it up with the aliens. Oh, dude. NMA TV. So is this a broadcast network in China?
No. These guys just. You ever see these guys make?
Oh, I've seen them all the time.
Videos. Yeah. And then like the Arringtons slap around fight. They do that.
Right.
I would be honored sometime to be in one of these videos. I think we have to do something outrageous so we can get in the video here.
We want to be in an NMA video.
Yeah.
So there's the story behind Google X explained so that even a small child can get it. What is the story with this Larry Page article? We talked a little bit about it on TWiT on Sunday. He sounds like a hard ass. He sounds like he's trying to be Steve Jobs.
Which is not what I expected, do you?
No. Larry Page, now CEO, he, of course, replaced Eric Schmidt, who's been bumped upstairs, is apparently gotten tough.
My favorite is the 50-minute meeting so you can go to the bathroom.
Right. No more than 50 minutes.
That was my favorite, too.
Yeah. I think all meetings should be held standing up. That way they're shorter.
That'll end sooner.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he said that he'd rather decisions get made quickly and then risk making the wrong decision than drawing it out.
That's a reasonable response, though, to Google's kind of overly maybe processed decision making, right? So
Absolutely.
He's trying to snap it up. But this is and remember, Steve Jobs did give him advice for a long period of time. This is very Jobsian.
Absolutely. It sounds like, I mean, I think that didn't Page say in an interview, someone asked what's Google's biggest stumbling block or obstacle, and he said Google. I mean, to me, this just read as this is a great engineer who is really excited, you know, is focused on efficiency and getting things done, and who's just frustrated with the slowness and the process that's, you know, just inevitably happens in a huge company. So good for him. It sounds good to me.
The Times quotes a former Google executive saying, when Eric was there, you'd walk into a product meeting or a senior staff meeting and everybody got to weigh in on every decision. Larry is much more willing to make an okay decision and make it now rather than make a perfect decision later. He started these changes right away, right after he came in. He requires senior executives to show up at headquarters at least once a month for face-to-face meetings. This is very interesting and probably pretty encouraging to somebody who's watching Google closely.
Yeah, I think obviously they must have put this out there to say let's show that there really is a grown-up in charge now with a strong new direction.
Right. Are we, as it is 2 minutes now to 2 p.m. Pacific time.
We see this right now, which is the Google logo and nothing
Now what, the
else.
rumors...
a little bit of music.
Ooh.
But this is the same loop that's been going on for a while, so it's not quite ready.
And didn't something kind of leak out, or hasn't stuff been going on already? Can you sign up for it or anything like that? The idea, I think, is that they would launch an iTunes-like store. Sony supposedly involved. The email that went out to this event came from Nigel Tufnell, right? Who's, of course, Spinal Tap's legendary bassist. Who goes to 11. In fact, the event is called This Goes to 11. It would be great if Spinal Tap played at the event. And if they do, I promise you folks, we will not interrupt it, but we will go live and broadcast it live.
We'll sing along.
We'll sing along to Smell the Glove.
And you'll love it.
Songs on Google Music, according to Bloomberg, will cost between 99 cents and $1.29, very much like the iTunes Store. But Google may offer discounts like a free song of the day. I would expect that. Amazon's already doing that, of course. The question is,
we talked about 2 weeks ago, where you can play a song for a friend.
Yeah.
This is what I'm really interested in. So, of course, they have to catch up to what the other guys have, right? But the social part of it, this is the thing that I'm really interested in. Kind of like Pages, is like I have really high hopes that Google's going to do something interesting. And someone said with a twist, and we said maybe it's double twist. I'm really interested to see if they're going to be built-in sharing and how that's going to work. That would be really cool.
Yeah, they could do Ping right. You know, Ping never really took off, the Apple iTunes sharing. Maybe they could do it right. Don't hold out, though, for Cher, CeeLo, P. Diddy, Gucci Mane, Green Day, The Prodigy, or Van Halen. They're all on Warner Records, which apparently is, according to some, the only major label that hasn't signed. But we'll find out, I think, in just a few seconds what labels are signing up for this. So we are going to watch it.
Track above you, Leo. Look.
Look.
Oh, nice.
Wow, we are so sophisticated.
Trying.
So sophisticated. This is on the, if you want to watch it live without our commentary, you can go to youtube.com/Android. It's on Google's Android channel.
That would be so dull. Why would you do that?
Why would you want to do that when you could have us? Eventually,
have just life with no commentary?
We should swap us up into there. Whoa! Man. No, that, oh, yeah. Boy, you're good. Eileen, you've really been practicing.
I'm not as good as some of the others here, but I'm
She's
getting better.
She's a virtuoso of the turret.
I still need a lot of help, but
I don't know. That was pretty impressive. Golly. I don't know how to do any of that crap.
We'll put it right there.
So there's still hey.
I'm kidding.
For those of you listening at home, nothing. We'll continue to cover stories until they go live with that. Salman Rushdie. That's not his real name. He's, of course, the author who faced a fatwa for his book. What was it called? I have it. I read it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, are we getting old or what?
We are.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The Satanic Verses. Thank you, Zeke.
Thank you.
Apparently, his real name is Ahmed Rushdie. And Facebook said, well, then you have to be Ahmed Rushdie.
How did they even know that? How did this occur that it changed? I don't get it.
They so he had a Salman Rushdie page. They deactivated it, and he said, send us your passport. Send us a copy of your passport so we know it's you.
Absurd.
So he did, but on the passport it says Ahmed Salman Rushdie.
Oh, I see. And trying to get the official
So
page.
he got reactivated as Ahmed Rushdie. He called Salman Rushdie on his Twitter, called Mark Zuckerberg a moron.
Where are you hiding, Mark?
Come out here.
Come out here and give me back my name.
I mean, I love the fact that Salman Rushdie, unlike Malcolm Gladwell, cares about social media.
Yes.
And was really pissed he didn't have it.
Good for him.
I think that's kind of
good for him. But it shows you Facebook has the same issues Google Plus does with this whole NIMS issue.
And Facebook fixed it and apologized pretty quickly.
After the Twitterverse went crazy.
Yeah.
We
need for these things to happen, though.
I agree.
Right?
Yep.
For these policies to become nuanced and accommodating and reasonable.
And now we have a name for the event. It is not It Goes to 11. It's the November 16th event. Please.
I got no audio or anything. It just went to that, so.
Yeah,
I like the rocker
Wait
hand.
a minute. He's going like that. Oh, dig it, man. That's
rock
cool.
On, rock on.
That's
I love how it's like a little antenna.
That's very cool. Little antenna
That's
hands.
awesome.
Okay, I do dig that. Google has solved the problem of collecting data via their Wi-Fi Google Maps or Street View cars that are collecting the Wi-Fi stuff. There's an opt-out feature. Huh?
Do you think they've solved it?
Sure, this solves it. All you have to do is add the _no map to your SSID and bingo.
You're out.
Google will ignore you.
Come on, can we have a good laugh about this?
Yeah.
I mean, really. Like,
It could have been worse. It could have been _nomap.py.
Oh, that's true. It could have been. Yeah, wow.
You think that's not a good solution?
I think that I found it funny that Google posted this solution in earnest. I mean, it's basically like robots.txt, right?
Yeah,
but
it's
for
robots.
your Wi-Fi access point.
I think it should have been N0MAP just to make it more elite.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Because obviously
so
they don't
more confusion between the 0 and the O.
They don't want anybody to do it, so they're going to make it, obscure.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them say that you put _map if you would like to opt in.
There you go.
And I wonder, how many Wi-Fi access point manufacturers are going to name the SSIDs _no map by default.
Well, it'll break everything, right? It'll break
I don't
everything
know.
if you do it. So they want that data, and I don't think it's wrong for them to get that data.
I agree. I'm waiting for Jeff to I'm joking, of course. I just thought that the opt-out process.
Again, what's the harm? It just goes into all the fear. USA Today had a ridiculous story about discovering cookies and how evil they are and how Facebook tracks you everywhere. And of course, do they say that USA Today tracks you the same way?
What? It's like USA to say, "Hey, we just read the Wall Street Journal, and boy, there's a problem out there."
It's called cookies.
Called cookies. Hey, and we're going to do a commercial before we go to the event. We are waiting for the stage to go live on the It Goes to 11 event. We expect an announcement from Google Music, and we'll continue to cover that, bring Tom Merritt in as well. This show, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Squarespace.com, the secret behind exceptional websites. Squarespace, if you are ready to make a site or you have a site but you want to make it easier, it's hosting. The best hosting in the world. I mean, really great hosting, plus the best content management system in the world combined together. And because they're so tightly integrated, you really get the best of both worlds. It is not a compromise. A lot of hosts have their own, site builder software. It's junk. This is good. This is the stuff you want to use and the hosting you want to use. So do me a favor. Give it a try. Go to squarespace.com. See that green button right there? Squarespace.com. Click that Try It Free button. You don't need a credit card. You just need a name for your site, a password for your site, and an email address. And for the next 2 weeks, you have full access to everything Squarespace offers. The incredible app, the Android or iPad or iPhone app. What a great way to post, to moderate comments, to check your stats. And by the way, stats, big deal for people who have websites. This has fantastic site management stats. Built-in SEO, so you're going to show up great on Google. That's automatic site mapping, things like that. Take the tour, the product tour of Squarespace. See what they have to offer. See how easy it is to use, and then try it for free. If you decide you want to buy, it's very affordable. You can check the pricing plans. There's no secrets right here. Starts at $12 a year. a month for a year. You can also do monthly plans or 2-year plans. And if you use the offer code TWIG11, you'll get 20% off for the first 6 months, over and above the savings already here. You know, I would say get at least the year account, because then you get unlimited bandwidth, unlimited pages, unlimited storage, a custom domain. They have an interesting feature called Audiences, which allows you to have different password-protected parts of the website. So you could have a paid and a free website, freemium, that kind of thing. You have unlimited editors. So there is a less expensive site for people who just need a very simple site. But I have to say that the $20 a month site with the great hosting and all of these features, including unlimited bandwidth, is an amazing deal. And then just add TWIG11 to the coupon code on checkout, and you'll get 20% off for the first 6 months. I don't know how to say it any other way. This is the best place to go for your next website. And if you have a friend who doesn't have a site, or maybe better yet, a business you love that doesn't have a site, go there. You could just set it up for them real quickly, like while you're eating dinner, and give him the password. Say, here, I give this to you. And if you want to use it, you know, go ahead. It's yours. It's a nice thing to do. SQUARESPACE.com. Give them a try today. What's going on in Nigel Tufnell's?
Well,
Still like this, huh?
Yeah, and I still don't have any audio. It's still this.
You know, I'm the last person to complain about things beginning on time. But it doesn't. Well, maybe there's people. I don't know. Larry's late. I don't know what.
Is there anything on Twitter?
What do you want to say, Tom?
I was just going to say, once Leo starts complaining that it's not on time, you know it's late.
Tom Merritt is, of course, the chief.
So bitter.
The chief victim of my tardiness. Tom will be joining us in just a bit as this event begins.
No, keep him waiting. Just keep Tom waiting.
Let's do our tip, a number, and tool of the week while we are waiting. How about that? Let's start with Gina Trapani and her tip of the week.
Oh, sure. So this is not new, but it's new to me. I hate getting catalogs in the mail, but I love looking through catalogs. And there's a Google Catalogs app, which I think came out this past summer, but it's a little more useful now because we're sort of getting into the holiday season. If you go to google.com/catalogs about, it's an iPad app for your iPad. You flip through lots of different catalogs and buy stuff online. It's just a really kind of nice experience. Actually, it looks similar to the Kindle, but what's nice about it is that the catalogs pages are scanned and they have little dollar signs. You can tap them and you can buy what you're looking at.
They used to do this on the web only, but now having it in an app is a great idea.
Yeah, having it on the iPad is really,
Can you buy
really
from it? Like,
nice.
can I click it and buy it?
Yeah, you can. Right. Yes, you
Oh,
can tap
neat.
an item, you can see details, then you can buy it on the web, which is super, super, super nice. And along those lines as well, iOS folks, the Gmail app, which was released in the store last week and then quickly pulled because of a bug, is back in
good.
the App Store, so you can get that as well.
And it works nice.
And yeah, it works pretty nicely. They still have to add things like multiple account support and that kind of thing. But it very much is like the web interface, kind of inside an app. But it has notifications and a couple of nice things.
I think the event is beginning here. So Jeff, hold
Let's
that
do it.
number.
That's okay. We'll hold it. No big deal.
Good tip, though. I like that, Gina. Thank you.
Sure.
And here we go. We're going to go to their stream. This is at youtube.com/Android.
They've been trying to sign the last music partners. That's why they're late.
So what is this music? Listen, can anybody identify this? Break out the Shazam. It sounds like Larry noodling. It's Paul Allen noodling on his guitar.
Requiem for Eric Schmidt.
I'm getting hungry for sushi.
All right, we're waiting for the It Goes to 11 event.
There is a shop tab on Google Music right now.
Oh, that's exciting. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Remember when your music came on plastic and it revolved around you? But lately, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
They're playing a cassette. They start with an album, then a reel-to-reel, now a cassette, now a CD. It seems, hard drive, to be spinning out of control. On computers, there's a speaker, MP3 players, phones, syncing, cancel, stop. They stopped everything. And there is a shop button on Google Music, but it says, "We're sorry, the requested URL not found on this server."
Well, it takes you to market.android.com.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing. That's interesting, though. It does sound like it's an Android thing that we're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing from Google Inc., Director of Digital Content for Android, Jamie Rosenberg.
It was brilliant.
Tepid applause.
Good afternoon. Welcome. And thank you for coming on what is a very exciting day for Google, and I hope for others as well. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the guys from Monogold, a terrific indie band out of Brooklyn, New York, who kicked it off with that great set. You'll hear more about Monogold a bit later. Today we're here to talk about music. At Google, digital music has become fundamental to many things we care very much about, including the mobile experience, the social experience, and the power of the web to improve people's lives. And for music fans, we believe today's technologies, including high-speed networks, powerful device platforms like Android, engaging social networks like Google+, and advances in cloud services bring with them the capability to dramatically improve the digital music experience. In fact, it's what consumers have come to expect. To rewind a few months, back in May, we launched Music Beta by Google, a service that allows you to store your music collection in the cloud and access that music anywhere from a web browser or Android device. Music Beta has been a limited, invitation-only service, and we spent the summer learning from the more than 1 million people who participated. We learned that you loved knowing that all of your music was available on all of your devices instantly, without having to worry about downloading or transferring files or having enough storage space.
We never could have guessed that.
We learned that being able to stream your music from any web browser was a big hit. You used the service a lot, streaming your music for an average of 2.5 hours every day. We also learned that you really responded to the opportunity to discover new music and add that music to your collections instantly. During the beta, we've distributed more than 100 million free songs directly to your cloud libraries. Finally, with the launch and ongoing success of Google+, we learned that we could make music discovery and distribution social in a deeply integrated way.
Yeah.
Now, during this time, we've also seen the continuation of a dramatic trend in the mobile industry. Back in May, we announced that we had activated 100 million Android devices worldwide. Just 6 months later, I'm pleased to announce that we've already doubled that. We have now activated 200 million Android devices worldwide. 200 million. And we're adding 550,000 new devices every day.
Those are big numbers.
So during this limited invitation-only beta, the Android ecosystem has
It's interesting.
experienced
It's not a big increase in the number of activations.
and now
daily
provides
activations.
unprecedented scale and reach.
They
Today,
sound big.
for those millions of Android devices and for music fans across the web,
That's probably
our
slowed a
music
little bit
beta
with,
becomes a full service,
the advent of the iPhone.
and that experience is called Google Music. Google Music is about discovering, purchasing, sharing, and enjoying digital music in new, innovative, and personalized ways. It's about the cloud, about the web, and about mobile. It's about better connecting you with the music you own and introducing you to new music that we, or better yet, your friends, think you'll love. Last but certainly not least, Google Music is about artists and their music and new ways to connect artists with their fans.
Now on my Google Music page it says,
Starting
add new
today,
music from
the Google
psychedelic
Music
indie
Cloud
band
service
Neon
opens
Indian?
up to everyone in the U.S. No invitation needed
No.
at music.google.com.
There's obviously a discovery
What
feature
about
here.
pricing? When we launched the beta, we said the service was free for a limited time. Now I'm pleased to announce that we're removing that qualification, and the service will continue to be free.
Nice, good.
You can add your entire music collection to Google Music, up to 20,000 songs, and stream it for free.
You do have to upload all
Other
of those
cloud music
songs,
services
unlike
think you have to pay
iCloud.
to listen to music you already own. We don't. But that's
Take
just
that,
the
Apple.
beginning. To show you the new features of Google Music launching today, I'd like to call up Paul Joyce, our lead product manager for music, and Michael Soliski, our lead product manager for Android Market.
You're watching the Google Music event. It goes to 11, announcing a new public version of the Google Music service
Thanks,
for
Jamie.
free.
People have responded very positively to music beta over the last 6 months. They like having instant access to all their songs, the flexibility of streaming or downloading to their devices, the convenience of being able to play in any web browser, even the one on iOS. And they like Instant Mix, our feature based on machine hearing technology that lets you build great playlists automatically with just one click. Now they're making the service completely free and opening it up to everyone in the US. We suspect they'll like Google Music even more. Let's walk through how it works. It starts with Music Manager, a helper application for Windows, Mac, and Linux that lets you pick which music you want to store in the cloud, even if your collection is spread across several different computers. When you select your iTunes or Windows Media Player library, all your playlists, play counts, and ratings are added along with your songs. If you want more control, you can pick by folder and now by playlist. And there's even an option to keep adding new music automatically. Only Google Music gives you all of these options. Once your music is added to your locker, it's organized, secure, and available for the web.
I like that they're demonstrating this on
all
a
of your
Mac.
Android devices, like this really nice HTC Amaze by T-Mobile. With Michael's help, let's take a closer look. So this is the latest music app for Android 2.2 and higher. Here are all my artists, all my albums, all my songs, all my playlists. All I had to do to get access to my entire music collection, even my favorite robots playlist, was sign in with my Google account. I can stream anything in my library.
Please don't.
Oh,
Copyright
boy.
violation.
I like that paranoid Android was in that list.
Robot
Some
rock.
folks back in Building 44. But I want to make sure I have a copy of something stored on my phone for times when my connection might not be so
By the way,
great.
this works very well on
I'm getting on
iOS without an app,
I can
just
pin it,
through the
and
mobile
any
browser
albums,
interface.
artists, or playlists I suggest will be available when I'm offline. Whenever I add an album or create or edit a new playlist, all the changes are instantly available on the web and on my other devices. And the same is true for my play counts and ratings, another new feature for this release. So we've improved the music app, and we've improved Music Manager, and we made the service completely free. But the biggest change is something we haven't talked about yet, and that's the integration with the Android market. Let's jump over to market and take a look. So this is Android Market. It's a store optimized for the web and for the more than 200 million phones and tablets we've activated worldwide.
Eileen, can you get on the market right now?
It's
I
helped
haven't
people
been able to
install
get into
billions
it.
of applications.
I don't know if it's...
Already this year we've updated
Yes, I'm
it.
in it
Add
right now.
movie rentals and
On my
books.
phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today, we're happy to announce that we've added music. And you can buy millions of songs right from my Android Market.
How many millions is the key?
So this is music.
And what
That's
labels?
familiar layout. There's genres and subgenres.
So this isn't so much a music announcement as it is a using music to boost Android announcement.
Yeah, interesting.
First is
Notice that
curation.
they're pushing it on as an Android.
So the hallmark
Yeah.
of a good music store is one where you walk in,
Although, of
not
course,
quite
it's
knowing
got
what
desktop
to buy, and you walk out with
interface.
something you love.
Actually,
That's not
how
an
do you buy
easy
the desktop?
experience to
Oh, they're going to
create.
have a web.
It's definitely one we aspire to.
Yeah.
Take, for example, what's on the
Let me
homepage.
see if the shop link is... no,
So we have
still,
staff picks,
it is in the Android
we have
market. though.
promotions, and then there's content, like this profile on Daptone, a really cool retro soul label. Together, these features let our music geeks guide you to new music discovery.
They're anxious to show how much hipper they are in
Another
their
way we
music
focus on
choices
discovery
than Apple ever
is with
was.
recommendations. On every artist page are similar artists you might like, making it easy to browse. And here on the home page, we have personalized recommendations based on your entire collection,
That's
not
good.
just the music you buy from our store. We use the same
That's the
machine
genius.
hearing technology that powers Instant Mix to suggest new things we think you're going to love. But perhaps the most important way we assist discovery is through friends.
Yeah, here we go.
Michael, what was the
Here
track
we
you were
go.
playing last night?
Is that the Atlas soundtrack?
Yeah. What was the song?
Mona Lisa.
Ah, that was awesome.
Don't act.
So, as Michael goes and searches the web,
Nothing better than bad acting in an
or
announcement.
searches market, doesn't need to search he doesn't need to search the web anymore, and that's what's
Real
that's what's
geeks
really
can't
great about our
act.
announcement. As he searches through it, but let me tell you about what we're buying. Everything in the store is 90-second previews. And we're also very excited that everything you buy from the store is
also
a
longer than
320 kilobit a second MP3.
320 KB per
When you complete
second
the transaction,
MP3s.
the track is added to your locker. Without doing anything else, it's ready for playback on the web and all your devices.
That's better than Apple's
It shows up in
256
the music players in
AAC.
your purchase playlist. On Android, you'll get a notification.
But the same, isn't it, as
You can
Amazon?
add it. Oh. But the easiest way to start playing is to follow the listen link that appears right inside Market. Now, if you want to close the circle of recommendation, you can select the share button instead and start the sharing process.
Oh, there we go.
I'll turn it over to Michael to show you a few more features
Share
on
on
the
Google
web
Plus.
and to dive deep on sharing.
Friends get,
Friends
so
get
when you share it,
one
you
free
get one
play.
play. Interesting.
Can't wait to share my Glee music with
So
you
here's
guys.
So
our
much better than
website,
Play music.
And there's
I
the
want
track
that
Paul
Adele
just bought.
mashup.
Like everything we sell in the store, it's a high-resolution MP3. And you can play it here or on any of your other devices. If you want to download the track, you can do that right from your browser. Or easier still, you can do it anytime using Music Manager, the same software that you use to add your collection to Google Music. Now, as Jamie mentioned, the web player has been incredibly popular during our limited beta. And we think it'll be even more so now that we're adding the ability to discover and purchase music. So let's take a walk through the music store in Android Market on the web. So we've talked about personalized recommendations based on the music that you enjoy.
Store is still not live
as well
on
as
the web for
editorial
me.
pages that help you discover new music.
No, I do get the
Here's a few
Neon
more
Indian
features for music
recommendation
fans
too.
that
Yeah,
we're particularly
I guess
excited
everybody has to listen to that.
Every day, we'll have a different free song of the day. Today, we're starting with David Bowie's Sound and Vision for thematic reasons. But you should expect a range, from artists you know well to artists you're going to want to get to know.
It's the Starbucks
We've also got
strategy.
hundreds of other free tracks available now to help jumpstart your collection. Every week, we'll have a different spotlight artist in our Antenna series, starting with Caveman. Antenna focuses on emerging artists of all different styles.
The music of Glee.
But the one thing that they all have in common
Christmas
is that they're loved by someone on their staff. As you browse, you also find compelling video interviews and performances. Right now, for example, you can find Merle Haggard talking about his years of music making.
I think 320
You can find
kilobit
The Roots, Martin
MP3 is
Luther,
probably comparable
debuting some new solo
to
tunes live.
256 megabit AAC.
Or
But it plays
you can
on
watch
everything,
the
and I think that that's
play
kind
on.
of important. Yeah, good day to be Neon Indian.
Shit, that looks pretty well prepared. We're in for a grilling.
Did he just swear?
Is your first
Sure
question?
sounded like
That's great.
That's how much hipper than Apple they are.
My new album is pronounced Milo Xyloto, like xylophone. But you can do it any way you like, or not at all. One of the reasons we called our record Milo Xyloto is because we put that into Google and it had no results. So we thought, okay, it's a fresh canvas.
Yeah, what a surprise.
It's a good place to start.
SEO for band, baby.
Milo Xylitol. Nobody ever heard of that.
I love this guy.
A lot of
Mr.
our
Mr.
favourite
Coldplay.
bands and artists, by their fifth record, have
He's actually
shown,
from Brooklyn. Did you know that?
their quality. So I think
No.
particularly on this one, we were like, well, we have to.
he's just faking
really
accent.
show
You can hear it in
everything
his
this
A's.
one.
Yeah.
all this great content is programmed by our team of passionate music geeks. They're kind of like know-it-all record store clerks.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Except more
If
annoying.
that's one
As
size
we
fits
continue
all,
through
man.
our artists and album
Oh, and
pages,
music
you'll find
ain't
all
your
the
music.
other features that you'd expect in a music store. Artist bios, photos, artist discographies, album reviews.
I've yet to see
as well
anybody
as
sharing
suggestions
anything
of
on
similar
Google
songs
Plus.
and
I'm
artists.
checking it regularly.
Right.
But let's play another track
let's see
so I can show
Google
you my own
Plus.
favorite feature. The ability to recommend and share what you've just purchased.
There we go.
Okay.
Every time you buy music from the store, you'll be able to share it with your friends on Google+. Not only will they see...
See, this is where
your
you really see the
recommendations
Google
in
Plus
stream,
strategy working
but they'll also
nicely
receive a
because you
free
don't have a
full
separate
play
ping
of
service.
the
It's
music
just
that you just
integrated in.
not just a limited preview. And that's something that no one else has ever done before.
Yeah.
But
You can
didn't
recommend
Facebook
and
beat
share
you to this?
right from the purchase confirmation screen.
Did they do?
or
Did they
anytime
have the
later
play
from
it
music
though?
players.
I guess if you had
I
Let's take a
thought
look
so.
at
That's
You
what
have
that's what was
Spotify.
announced.
Spotify.
if you have
purchasing a song,
Spotify, you could just listen.
I get the
There you
option
go.
to share it on Google+.
That's kind of
I
neat.
can type
Look
a
at that.
message, select
That's
which circles I
cool.
want to share it with,
I like
and
it.
then post. I can also include email addresses for folks not yet on Google+, and they'll receive the same free full play when they sign in.
Wow.
Well, I want to share a chapter of a book that
Now,
way.
through
I
the
want to
magic of Google
share.
Plus,
Yes.
the song shows up
Movie
immediately
scene.
in my friend streams for them to enjoy.
Oh, check out the internal
They can play
Google
the entire
header there.
song without ever leaving
Confidential.
the
Nice.
stream. And better yet, it's not limited to individual tracks. When I purchase an album, I can actually share the entire thing
What?
with my Google Plus friends. They'll be able to listen from
Holy
start to
cow.
end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here,
One
that's
full
about an
album
hour of
play.
music.
Holy cow.
Wow.
It's also not limited to the web. You can share from your
I'm
Android device
I'm
as well.
shocked the music
And
industry
you can
allowed that.
enjoy the music shared with you.
Well, but that's what Zuckerberg
Google
argued.
Plus
That
mobile app.
they've proven that it's going to lead to more purchases.
Right.
It's
Although
radio
So
play.
let's recap
It
what
is
we've just
radio
covered.
play. on an
trivially
individual
easy to
basis.
A
record,
brand
though.
new music store.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Market. Available right now at market.android.com. And coming to
If you're going to
Android
go
phones and
that far,
tablets
you'll just pirate it
in the coming
anyway.
days.
I guess so.
Yeah.
The music store.
Yeah,
I want
nobody
to see
will
how
go to the
easy they
trouble to
make it to
record.
buy
This
it.
version of Android Market.
Yeah, they've got to make it easy to buy, right? There should
A
be a
new
button that
version of
says
the
buy this
the web
album.
music player, live now at music.google.com.
The smart thing would be to give, if
A new
Gina
version
shares
of
something
the
with me,
music
that Gina
application
gets
for
some
Android phones and
benefits.
tablets.
I buy it.
Available now in Android
Yeah.
Market. And a new version of Music Manager, automatically updating over the next few hours. All of this is available for US users starting now. No invitations required.
I'm trying to get my
Now
Android
I'd like to
download
introduce
going here.
Zahava Levine, our Director of Content Partnerships, to talk about the great music that we have in the store.
I would love to be able to make a mixtape, a playlist of songs.
That would be cool.
Different tracks at once.
Yeah.
That's where
your
Spotify
Christmas
has a
tape.
huge advantage, right?
Yeah.
Spotify's a
As
huge
Paul and
advantage.
Michael just showed, with Google Music, you can discover new music, whether it's chart toppers or hidden gems from less known artists in several different ways. You can browse by genre or by new releases or by staff picks. You can check out Google's recommendations for you. Or even better, you can listen to the tracks and albums that your friends have purchased and sent to you. And then you can buy those songs from those very same links.
We know this is a good idea because they're already bitching
Recommendations
in the
from friends
UK
is
that they
the
can't
single
get it.
most important way that people discover new
You know, this
music.
is very similar to
This social
Ping,
feature
except
has the
you're not limited to
potential
90
really
seconds.
transform
Right.
purchasing behavior.
Does this
Now,
beat
none of this
Amazon?
would mean
Because I don't
much
have
without
friends on
great
Amazon.
content to bring it
Aha.
alive. So I'm happy
If
to
it's the
announce
same
today
catalog
a terrific set
and price.
of content partners
Okay,
on
let's
board
see the
for our
partners. Here
launch.
we go.
Our partners include major record labels, EMI Music,
Warner is missing.
Universal Music Group,
That's the one missing.
Sony Music Entertainment,
So they got the big three.
and independent record labels, many independent
Indies
record
are
labels,
huge.
including the Beggars Group, Merv,
CD Baby, of
Warp,
course.
and many more. And other partners such as Merlin, the global rights agency for independent music, and aggregators of independent music such as IOTA, The Orchard, and Ingrooves. Collectively, our partners include over 1,000 record labels, bringing us authorization to distribute over 13 million tracks from Google
It's a
Music.
good number. Not
Which
18 million, but it's
about 8 million are live today. The rest will be adding in the coming months, so thanks for your patience as we add new tracks as fast
3 out
as
of 4 ain't
we
bad.
can.
yeah. They're missing Warner Music.
These
That is a
innovative new
fairly
partners
large one, but
recognize how much Google can
Does
help
Facebook have- who does
artists
Facebook
sell
have?
their music
Spotify.
using Android's broad
Oh, right,
consumer
yeah.
reach.
and RDO
Even
and
more
MOG and
importantly,
everybody
Right, right.
else.
These partners share our vision of delighting users with innovative new ways of discovering and
So
purchasing
Amazon
and sharing music. To represent
is
this class of-
256
to
kilobit
represent this group of
MP3, so this does
world-class
beat
partners,
Amazon.
I'd like to invite 3 music visionaries up on
There's
the stage
recommended
to
in
share a few
Android
thoughts on the launch
Market.
of
If you
Google
go on
Music.
music.google.com
Mark
and scroll
Phoebe,
down, you should have
Executive Vice
recommendations,
President
and there's
from
buy
EMI
tabs there,
Music.
but you can't doesn't launch to the
Rob
shop
Wells,
yet.
President Global Digital Business at Universal Music Group, and Charles Caldas, CEO of Merlin BV, the global rights agency for independent music.
I cannot wait to
The EMI guy's going to be really nice to the Universal guy on stage.
Thanks so much, Zahava. I'm Mark Peavy from EMI Music. You know, it's a real privilege to be able to work with great artists and also to work with pioneering new services like Google Music to connect those artists with fans in rich new ways and ultimately to tap the immense potential of an online, mobile, and social music experience. So, break a leg, guys.
I'm Rob Wells from Universal. I feel, with these two guys alongside me, I feel the need to burst into Bee Gee covers. But I won't. Universal we're immensely pleased to be here today. Doing any deal with Google for the sale of our repertoire is groundbreaking. on a number of levels. We expect this to be a rich new revenue stream for our artists. We are very excited about the prospect of the global rollout of the platform through all Android devices, and any new legitimate place to consume music is a fantastic anti-piracy tool. So we're very pleased to be here, and we wish Google success.
Interesting that he acknowledges
in all
that.
these endeavors.
Of course, that's the stick that Steve Jobs was able to beat them with.
On behalf of the thousands of independent labels that we represent from around the world, we're particularly pleased to see Google launching a music store today, and we think it'll be a significant new music destination in the digital space. We're particularly pleased that Google recognized very early on the commercial significance of independent repertoire in the digital music market and worked with us very closely to make sure that the
Merlin's not a label, it's a rights organization for independent labels.
Have access to the thousands of fantastic
so they basically collect royalties for these labels.
And equally, we wish them all success.
The ASCAP BMI of indies.
Except for performances, not public.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, they're
gentlemen.
performance
We are
only.
very
They're record.
excited to have such a great
Interesting.
roster of content partners on board. And of course, we anticipate adding new partners as they wish to come on board in the coming months. We look forward to that.
Warners.
We are also excited about
They'll get
another
Warners. If
set
they've
of
got everybody else, there's no reason for Warners to
we'll
hold
give you
out.
just a little added extra incentive to try Google Music now. We've worked with a handful of artists and their labels to offer some fantastic music that you will not find anyplace else.
Here come the
From
freebies.
each of these artists, we have
Except on
music
BitTorrent.
exclusively on Google Music, including some free tracks to get you started. These are artists who are truly excited about the power of Google to bring their music to millions of fans.
Oh,
Busta Rhymes.
The
Rolling
Roleplays,
Stones.
from
Huge.
Roleplays,
Wow.
Dave
Six
Matthews.
never before released live concerts.
This is great.
Starting
I already
today
see
with
add a
the
new and
phenomenal
exclusive
Brussels
Busta Rhymes
Affairs
single to your
concert
library.
from
Thank you. I
1973.
shall.
Busta Rhymes playing at the T-Mobile event at 9 p.m. tonight.
The band's 50th anniversary
He is.
year.
He looks angry about the whole thing, though, I gotta say.
Coldplay, from whom we bring you
Shakira's
a
not too happy either.
5-track live
Interesting they got
LP
the Stones. The
from
Stones, of
band's
course,
recent Madrid
very slow to
concert,
accept digital music.
kicking off their Milo
Didn't Coldplay
Xyloto
not-
tour. That's very
be
exciting.
involved in
and
Spotify
iconic rapper
Rdio?
Busta
Possibly, yeah.
Rhymes
No, I think
is
the
here with
Stones
us
also.
today.
Who's there? An iconic
Busta
rapper?
Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta. He's making all the rounds.
Where's Gaga?
Busta Rhymes will
rhymes.
be debuting his new studio album exclusively on Google Music. And the first single from this album is available today for free right now.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just downloaded it.
In addition, we have live albums from Pearl Jam, from Shakira, and from Dave Matthews.
It's not just
which are
Busta
available
Rhymes.
live in
It's
their
Lil Wayne and
entirety
Busta
at
Rhymes.
Google Music right now.
Ooh.
There's more, and I won't get into all the details, but please visit our post on the official Google blog. And better yet, go to the store and check it out. We're really excited about this great exclusive. And
You're in the
free
store on your
content,
mobile
so
device,
go
Leo?
get
No,
it.
I'm on the web.
I can't get in the store on my
Finally,
web.
I'm having trouble getting
There's
into the
one
store
more
myself.
group of
Yeah.
very important artists we'd like to
It's a
mention.
little busy right now.
To tell
A lot
you
of
about
people.
these artists and how
you
they
just-
can work with Google Music.
We'd just like to ask
I'd
everybody
like
in our audience
call
to
up
stop
Chris
trying to
Yerba,
go to the
Android's
store.
engineering director for cloud services and aspiring rock star.
Here's the garage band pitch, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Zahava. Even today's biggest superstars
I want the
started
t-shirt.
out
I want
as
that
independent
t-shirt.
artists.
Too.
And
Android
today,
rocks.
that community of
Yeah.
independent artists is bigger than ever.
Fans.
From bedroom DJs creating laptop masterpieces to established acts putting their next studio recording out, we want to work with these self-released artists who have yet to get a label deal to engage with their fans, sell their music, while taking advantage of Google's reach. Built right into Google Music is the Artist Hub, a tool that gives you a direct route to distributing music so long as you own the rights to your recordings. Music submitted through the Artist Hub
this is
shows
kind
up
of
in the music store just like any other
This
album.
is very good
And we
for
give
an
artists
this is
the
neat.
tools to make it look great.
On iTunes, you have to do a deal
the
with somebody like
Artist Hub,
CD Baby for this to
An
work.
artist can
Really?
No, I thought you could submit your MP3s directly to the store.
Can you now? Okay.
I thought so.
This sounds more like
that was built into GarageBand.
Sounds more like SoundCloud. Oh yeah, that's right. You could, but you couldn't sell it. You could. Could you sell it? I don't think you could sell it. Really? Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not hip enough.
We've given a bit of a sneak preview of this to some independent artists. Let's hear from them now.
No, you can't sell it. You could only upload it.
Okay.
So that's
really
actually
exciting
a big deal, I think.
Think about Google and music together because, first of all, I use Google every day. My phone is Android. Anytime anyone tells me to listen to new music, I Google it.
This is very big for Google, I think. Not merely as a music thing, but to really establish them
These days,
as a social player.
Means I bartend 5 days a week.
You end up being your own manager.
They don't have any other stores like this. This is.
We drive the van ourselves. I don't drive. I'm not allowed to drive.
Ruin our trailer ourselves.
I learned HTML 2 years ago, which was an experience.
If you're independent, nobody's handing you anything. You have to.
I like the indie artists, though.
Yes.
Sort of like,
I wonder what the tie will be to YouTube and music videos and all that.
Yeah, good question.
Basically, it's not easy.
Pump Laboose.
Definitely
And you can set your own price. That is a big deal.
Oh, wow.
A better platform.
What kind of cut do they get?
I haven't said.
They're not going to say today. We'll find out, but they're not going to say.
I'm able to have control. I'm all
There's an
about the
ad-free music link that you can add all the free music in every genre.
You have the option of.
You can really build a library this way.
Your whole albums for free. You can share it with your friends.
I hope they have Creative Commons on here too, so you can use them for
That'd be
podcasting.
fantastic, yeah.
A link on the top of the video sending you right over to Google Music.
There's YouTube.
Download the song.
It gives
There's the
people
YouTube connection.
an opportunity of exposure without having to think that you need to be signed to a label.
Music fans don't have to search as hard.
The heck with labels, the heck with studios, the heck with publishers, the heck with bookstores, the heck with them all.
Yep. This disintermediates.
Networks.
All you need is marketing.
Like Google that has
Yep, exactly. Tom.
Well, and YouTube can do some of that, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what Google's going to
And
promote, right?
Your
Right.
friend.
Right.
Your friends.
This is
can
great.
really be the first virally made business success in music.
This doesn't happen without Apple dominating the music industry and the music labels saying, we got to do something about Apple's dominance.
Right.
Because really, this is also a slap in the face to the big music labels.
As you can
Yes.
see,
But you're right, Leo. Apple did a huge favor
excited
for
about
Google.
this and the possibilities that it brings at a large scale. Now, this is a bit of a new concept for a digital retailer, so I'd like to walk you through what the experience is like for the artists. And when I'm going to do so, I'm going to do so using Monogold, the band that opened us up today, as an example.
So, artist pages,
when
too.
an artist comes into
That's why
the
they
artist
announce
page,
brands. That's why they announce
There
brands.
goes MySpace.
search for their artist
Yeah,
page.
kills MySpace.
Now, if it turns out that this is
What's
an artist we
MySpace?
don't know about yet,
Music page
they
is
can
live.
create their artist page for $25.
That's
This
now
is a
called Google Space.
one-time artist registration fee. It basically works the same way as Android developers who want to sell their.
Here's the store on the. It is the Android market.
And the artist page
Get
is
started
what
with
users
free
see
music.
when they search for their favorite band
Staff
into Google
picks.
in the Google Music Store. So. What we allow them to do
Oh,
is
yeah, I wanna
go
sell
in,
books
and
this
in
way.
this case, Monogold has entered
Here's
a
all the free
biography.
music. You
can.
They've uploaded an artist
47
image, set some
songs.
other information about
Earth,
themselves,
Wind,
such
and
as
Fire,
genre,
Busta Rhymes,
and,
Chris
they can
Isaac.
also add web links.
And
but of course, the real benefit here
This
is
is interesting.
that artists can actually
Go ahead and
sell
go back
their
to the
music
video, yeah.
directly to fans within Google Music.
Listen to this.
So to do this, the next step is artists will upload their original content, individual songs or albums. They set some metadata about it, like genre and pricing info. And then we also allow the artist to control how previews work in the music store. So for example, they can elect to enable 90-second previews of their content, full preview, or even unlimited free plays of their music within the Google Music Store. And of course, like all purchases
So it really does replace
in the Google
SoundCloud.
Music Store, shares to Google Plus include a single free play for your friends.
This is
Now,
very big.
artists keep 70% of the revenue
70-30?
for sales of their
70-30.
content in the store. And there's
That's
no
good.
per album or annual upload fees required here.
It's huge for
And,
independent musicians.
That's going to mean that it's really easy for artists to release their music as frequently as they see fit.
That's fantastic.
So, you know, in addition to studio tracks, artists can put up demo material.
There have
or
been
even,
stars made in YouTube. Have there been any
live
stars made in
concerts,
Facebook?
recording from a gig earlier in the week.
That's a good
they
question.
can also change pricing or any of the album
I can
details
imagine
at
somebody
any time,
going hot.
giving them significantly more control over how they distribute their music. We're also working with YouTube to allow artists to sell songs directly against their music videos or on their YouTube channel pages. And we're doing this as part of YouTube's recently announced merchandise store. Now, Monogold has set everything up. They've uploaded all their content, so why don't we pop back over to the music store and see how it looks there. So we're going to go and do a search for Monogold here. And when we do, you'll see in the search results, they show up with the artist image that they uploaded.
Who needs a record company?
Will take us
What do you do? What does a
the,
record company do for you
artist
now?
detail page. And, you know, a little reload between friends is never a bad thing. Right?
Exactly. Who needs
And
the
so here you
mediators?
see that their biography information is there as
They
well
add
as
no
the
value.
albums and tracks.
By the way, for the indie artists, you wouldn't have
And
the
so
international
afterwards,
restrictions you
once
have
people
for
actually
the
purchase their
mainstream
music,
publishers. I wonder if they'll make
artists
this
can go back to the artist
available
hub,
globally
and,
quicker.
There's a payments tab where they can monitor
This is
all their
fantastic.
sales and
Boy,
get
if I,
information about the payouts that they're going to be
if you're a
getting
musician, this has
from
got
their
to be the
sales,
best news you've
in
ever
the Google
heard.
Music store.
Yeah.
If you are an independent artist with original content, we've got your audience. The Google Music Store is built into Android
Look at
Market
that.
and installed on millions
I'm waiting
of
for the
Android
Google
devices.
AdWords integration.
So I invite you to come to music.
No, you're right.
You know, it makes sense.
artist.
And if you want to promote your music,
And to kick this off, we're excited to have a handful of notable Artist Hub users on board already, including
So what else could they
world-renowned DJ
sell in the
Tiesto,
same way?
who's using the
Keep
Artist
going back
Hub.
to that.
to
I do. I
debut his new
agree with
single
you. We
today.
got to see books,
And
magazines,
national duo
content of all
Southern
kinds,
Belle,
movies,
which our
TV
editors
shows.
have deemed
well, you can upload your book to the Google Books program. Does that take it into the
personal
Android
note,
store?
I'm also hoping that maybe one of my favorite.
Yeah, they have books in the
No,
Android
there's not
store.
the
but I don't know.
sharing and all that other stuff. I want to
Oh,
share
right.
a chapter
Yeah, I
or
gotcha.
stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And now
I mean, you
I'm
can do
gonna
that
turn it back
manually,
to
obviously.
Jamie, who will tell you about a very important partner in bringing Google Music to fans.
What happens on the iPhone? I'm curious. Does
Thanks,
that,
Chris.
I guess you can't.
We're able to
participate?
bring Google's music offering to millions
Hey,
of
look.
people because of the tremendous support we have from the carriers and manufacturers who form the backbone of the Android ecosystem. Our very first
Android.
distribution partner for Android was T-Mobile USA, who got this all started with the launch of the G1 back in 2008. It seems fitting then that
that was
T-Mobile is with
2008?
us here today
Wow.
to help us celebrate this exciting milestone.
It's been quick, hasn't
This
it?
phenomenal
Yeah.
setting.
It has.
And even as it relates to music, T-Mobile is a pioneer with us once again. We're pleased to announce that coming very soon, T-Mobile customers will be able to pay for music purchases directly through their T-Mobile phone bill, as they can do with Android Market applications today. For some additional announcements, I'd like to call up Andrew Sherrard, Senior Vice President, Marketing for T-Mobile USA.
That's nice.
Why?
You know, not everybody wants to set up
Thank
a
you,
Google
Jamie.
Checkout account, you know?
You know, as a
Right.
first mover with Android, T-Mobile has a deep history and experience working with Google. Since the introduction of Android, it's been amazing to see exactly how the mobile experience has been transformed. And since that G1 is launched, the Google ecosystem has grown incredibly.
There's not a mobile site
And you know,
for
the networks and
the
phones
Android market.
that run
so
Android
iOS,
today have transformed too.
I guess you could do it on the non-mobile
Today,
site.
T-Mobile
but,
has the largest
you'd think
selection
they'd have had a
of
mobile site
Android
for that.
devices running on America's largest
I think
4G
they're really
network.
saying buy Android.
What's surprising is that
But
70%
that's what seems odd to me here.
is on iOS.
are smart.
Pardon me?
Music.google.com has a web app for iOS.
The mobile site is great
Right.
and plays and everything, but as soon as you go to the shopping experience, you get the desktop site.
Because that's the Apple rule. Amazon can't sell directly with
because
the
it's
app.
well, you could.
right.
You don't have to do it in an app, but you could do it. Can't you do a mobile site that's?
Yeah, you can do a mobile site. Apple can't stop
Oh, I
it.
see.
And they, I mean, there is no. I don't think there's an app. No, there's no app on iOS for Google Music. But the mobile site is so good, you don't need an app.
Okay.
T-Mobile strives
See,
to
this
bring
is
mobile
really
device
about. I think the reason they chose to do that is to push people to Android.
Well, there's an
But I don't
independent
fully
app
get that
called
because I think
G-Music.
this is disruptive to all of media.
explosion of
And
data
Why make that dependent on Android? Sure, let it push Android.
Using it on their mobile devices.
Why not?
That's what I said early on. Well, because they're losing people that they could, and those people are audience for these musicians. So the more audience you have for these musicians, the more power the disruption.
Maybe the theory here is isolate Apple users.
Mobile audio.
They got iTunes. They want to live in that Apple ecosystem. We're not going to fight it.
It could just be development priorities. You know, we made the mobile site for Android first. We'll get around iOS later.
Well, as I said, they have an excellent mobile site for iOS for the Google Music.
Yeah, for the store. Yeah.
But we know they want more. They don't just want to stream music. They want to share it. They want to discover new music, and they want to be able to organize it. To date, there really hasn't been anything that's done that very well.
I can see that it might be in some companies,
so what we see
and
is
particularly in Google's interest, to say us versus them.
The music you love.
I would think they just want as many people using it as possible.
Reliable network really
which is
comes
the way they treat a lot of their other things.
When we
like
combine a
Gmail.
fast 4G network and Google Music, we believe this will transform the industry. It's a whole new experience. Not only will you be able to discover new music in a new way, you'll also be able to share those purchases with your friends through Google+. That is fantastic. And T-Mobile is going to enhance that experience by running it on our fastest smartphones from HTC, from Samsung, and allow people to discover and share music faster than they can even do it at home. So to celebrate that, I'm happy to announce that we're going to have some free exclusive content for our customers. This includes
Louis Gray has shared the first song on Google+.
Nice.
We also have other
Welcome to the world of Google Music on Google+. Here's, if you pull up my screen, of course, it'd be Louis Gray, who is working at Google+. He's sharing the Daft Punk Tron song. Here's the preview.
Music
comments,
to our
sharing.
Through the end of the year.
But I don't think
we know our customers are going to have a great experience using Google Music.
Only one share.
Across our compelling lineup of Android smartphones.
Oh, wait.
But you can buy the song and share it again.
Let's see. I just reshared it. Let's see what happens.
You did reshare
I can reshare it. And the preview. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh.
Thanks very much, Andrew. So with that, let's recap what we've discussed today. Worldwide Android activations now stand at 200 million. The Music Beta cloud service becomes Google Music, opens up to everyone in the US, and will store and stream your music for free, up to 20,000 songs. The new music store in Android Market allows you to add to your collection with millions of songs, personalized recommendations, rich editorial content, and lots of free songs to get you started. The store launches today on the web at market.android.com and rolls out to Android devices in the U.S. over the next few days.
Wait a second, Gina. The thing you share says listen to preview.
Any song or album you purchase in the music store.
I can't listen to the whole song.
You're right.
I thought you were supposed to be. That's key. I thought you could listen to the whole song.
Well, wait a minute. I see listen to preview here too.
It's all about the
Maybe
music.
the preview is one. How long is the preview?
I thought the artist sets it.
Yeah, the preview's
No,
only
they said
30
one
seconds
full
on this.
play.
Yeah,
They said one full
Oh, is it a full play?
So,
Is
so
that
I'm
bad
seeing
wording,
listen
or
one,
is
two,
that?
free.
The Google Music Artist Hub.
Hey, chat room, somebody play one of those things. From
It's
Gina.
30 seconds. I can see it. It's only 30 seconds.
Wow, that's come on, guys.
Bug.
That's just a bug. That's
No issue.
Yeah.
And finally,
Because they did say full song, right?
They did.
They did. I'm seeing other shares that say listen once for free, so that must be.
Is it your reshare that's
Maybe
only
it's the
30
reshare.
No. Because Louis Gray's was. Okay, let me reshare Christina Warren, Film Girls. So she has a listen once for free.
Google Music
Let me reshare that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to do the same. It's going to be listen once for free. So it's just you reshare what the person shared in the first place. So yes, it does work.
Yep.
Okay, now I have to delete this, otherwise I'm spamming everybody.
I think that's it.
Well, very interesting. I think a very significant announcement from Google, music.android.com. It's the Android marketplace, which shows you that they're really focused on the mobile side of this as much as the desktop side of this.
And social.
And social is huge. This is what Google had promised with Google+. They said Google+ will be an experience across all Google platforms. And by turning it on in its biggest way so far with Google Music, they get a double bang because, of course, it's a great way to launch a service like Google Music, and it really pushes people towards Google+.
It just is. I can't wait to get my hands on the API for this. I want to say, you know, give me all the tracks from my friends, which I haven't listened once yet to, and I want to see, you know, their faces next to them, and I want to know, you know, who are the people who I've bought stuff from the most, you know, who are my music muses. I just think this is great, and I love to see anything that helps us get toward fewer Britney Spears and more Jonathan Coltons. I'm all about, and I really feel like the focus on the indie artists is very much in the spirit of YouTube and independent content creators. I think MySpace is not gonna be the place. I mean, MySpace is still the place for bands to post tracks. I mean, my 13-year-old nephew is in a band. He posts his tracks to MySpace still. So this is really, really interesting. And
now
I like
we
the way
can
they're
sell
treating
them. Now we can promote them. Now we can do so much more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting how they're treating musicians like developers, you know, that you're kind of going to have that Artist Hub experience is a lot like the Android Market experience for developers, where you have that one-time fee to pay to set up an artist page is, you know, one time, and then you determine how your content gets previewed and what your price is. I mean, that's really cool.
Developers are talent. They're creative talent, right? I've been telling my agent at ICM that they should be representing developers.
I love it.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, you know, you want to see this kind of thing for authors, for filmmakers, for, you know, for zine, for people who make zines online. I mean, this is awesome. I'm really excited.
Down
about this.
with the mediators. Down with the mediators.
Well, in a way, Google is a mediator, but a generous mediator, right? They're still taking 30%.
Well, they're the centralizer, right? I think that's what I like the most about this is I feel like this is a much friendlier way to manage my music than iTunes. With iTunes and iCloud, I have to remember, well, some of it's up there in iCloud and some of it's on my device, and I can't look at it all at once and really know because I have to launch the app. This is website. I go to the same website everywhere. I just feel centered. I feel like I've got everything. It's a much more contained universe to live in, and it's very attractive to me. I'll have to play with it and see, you know, I've been playing with the beta, but let's see if I could live inside of it. But for some reason, this strikes me as just an easier way to keep track of all the music you own.
That's Tom Merritt. We're going to go to TNT in a moment and wrap up This Week in Google in a moment. But before we do, I want to take a break. When we come back, we'll summarize what we've just learned. I think a very important announcement from Google, music.android.com. And Google Music now goes public. For those of us who have been using it in beta, and I think that's all three of us, it's been a great service. But with the addition of a store and all the labels but Warner Brothers, I think this is a very significant move by Google into the music space. We'll talk about it more in just a second. Before we do, though, I'd like to mention that Ford is sponsoring our shows. As always, we love Ford, and I love my Ford Mustang. Bought it 2 years ago. You know, I think it's time for another Ford. Maybe that electric Focus. I'd love to get that. One of the things that's new in the new Ford 2012 Ford Focus is this Wi-Fi access hotspot. Very, very cool. You plug in a 3G card into the USB port in your Ford, and all of a sudden your car is a rolling Wi-Fi hotspot for up to 5 people. There's so many great features. The new My Ford Touch, they're going to be rolling out upgrades to everybody who has it. Beautiful new user interface. The app link that lets you control smartphone apps with your voice, keeping your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. And, of course, the technology that goes into, you know, the powertrains, the engines, the plug-in hybrid electrics, the all electrics, the Bliss system that monitors your blind spots, the active park assist. These are high-tech vehicles. You can find out more at Ford.com/technology. Best way, though, is to drive a Ford. And I can tell you, as if I'm a Ford family, baby. As a Ford owner, I want to welcome you to the Ford family. Join the Blue Oval and get yourself a Ford. Drive one today at a Ford dealer near you. Visit it online at Ford.com/technology. And Ford, we love you. Thank you so much for making it possible to do what we do here at This Week in Google. So, I think a very exciting announcement, but pretty much what we would have expected from a Google. The details are 70-30 split for artists. The very important note that you don't have to have a record label to sell your music on Google's music marketplace. You can have absolute parity with Coldplay and everybody else as an independent artist, uploading your music, creating a page, setting your price. This is huge, really universal marketplace for independent musicians. I think that's exciting. There is, of course, a lot of disappointment in our audience because we have a very international audience that it's available U.S. only. That's absolutely to be predicted because, of course, every record label has got its own national interests, and you have to do a deal with every country individually. It is, I'm sure, a matter of time, Google being one of the most international companies out there before Google makes this possible all around the world. But they've got to get the record companies to go along, and so far they've got them all except Warner Brothers here in the States. So even in the U.S., we can't get the full feature set. They said 8 million songs available today. They plan to get to 13 million in the next few weeks. They will roll out an updated Google Market app for the Android phones that will feature music. They don't yet. And presumably they will do something for iOS, although right now iOS is left out in the cold. It took a while before Google Music worked on iOS. It just may be a matter of time. Thoughts, Gina? You said you're excited about an API. They didn't announce an API, but you're pretty sure they'll have one.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that the current Google Plus API has support for lots of different kinds of actions and pieces of content. So I'm sure that, sharing a music track, like sharing a circle or sharing a video is just, one of the different kinds. So they've been kind of slow with Google Plus API so far, but I'm pretty confident that that's going to come out. And it'll be interesting to see how the DRM bits of that, limiting to one play per friend, how that's going to work in third-party apps. But I'm sure that we'll see that soon.
And Jeff, you're excited, but you would like to see this kind of store and sharing extended to other forms of media.
Yeah, I really think it's a model for that. The irony is I'm in Canada right now where my book's not for sale, and I can't get into the music because I'm in Canada. But, yeah, I think that in general, if you're an independent artist, this becomes a new way to sell whatever you do. And, people accuse me of being against paywalls for content. I'm not. I'm for them. I'll sell you my book if you could only get it in the store. But, you whined, but, it's hard to do that. It's hard to make it happen. If you have these easy mechanisms to sell things to people, we'll be able to sell more things. And more important than that by far is to maintain a bigger price. Believe me, I don't get 70% of the cover price of a book.
No way.
Far from it.
You're lucky
right?
to get 5%, right?
Exactly. And so the idea that the creators can now be in more control of their world becomes really exciting.
Best deal I ever got, I think, was 15% of half the cover price. So the equivalent of 7.5%, and that's very unusual. 10 to 5 to 10% of the half of the cover price, because of course the publisher doesn't get the full cover price, just half of it. Is pretty typical. So getting 70%.
It's awesome.
Golden.
It's unheard of.
And I'm sure it's the same for music. Better even for musicians. I mean, they get robbed routinely. The days of Annetta James signing over the entire value of her catalog for a bottle of whiskey and a cigarette are long gone. Thank goodness.
So you add this new mechanism to distribute, this new mechanism to recommend through sharing, which I think is critical both here in Google and at Facebook. The new means to distribute things with your new Fire. All of this is just tearing the rugs out from underneath the mediators. And you know what? They all deserve it.
God bless them.
You want to stop? Bye now. Bye-bye.
That's to me the most exciting part of this announcement is the fact that an independent recording artist. There are so many great musicians in this world who do not have a record deal, who will now be able to have parody.
Right.
Huge. And I think of my son who loves music, and I'm glad that he's growing up in a world where he'll have a chance to sell his music. It's fantastic.
You want to stop online piracy? Don't break the DNS system. Encourage this.
Thank you. Let's not forget, this is Internet Censorship Day. If you haven't called your member of Congress, it's not too late. Go to EFF.org, and all the information you need to fight SOPA is right there. Just click the website blocked button, put your zip code in, and they will give you the email address and, more importantly, the phone number of your member of Congress. And do call your member of Congress today, your representative and your senator. Tell the representatives that you want to stop the Stop Online Piracy Act, SOPA. Tell your senator you want to stop Protect IP and that you care about a free and open internet. Very, very important to let them know on this day, Internet Censorship Day. TNT is up next. Tom Merritt with Tech News Today, and I'm sure there'll be lots more coverage. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Google. Jeff Jarvis is at his website, buzzmachine.com. He's in Toronto right now. You want to plug an event or anything you're going to be doing?
It's already sold out.
Oh, that's of course. Why wouldn't it be?
But thanks to the nice Third Tuesday folks who did this in Toronto tomorrow night and Ottawa on Friday night.
Awesome.
God bless them.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff Jarvis. We'll see you next week. Gina Trapani, congratulations on the launch of Think Up app, thinkupapp.com, rockandrollsmarterware.org. Thank you all for joining us. We do the show 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC every single Wednesday at live.twit.tv or just twit.tv. If you missed the show, download audio or video. We've got good quality video now available on our website, twit.tv. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on This Week in Google. TNT is up next.